Okay, I'm sorry. I had to restart the stream because uh, Shalom, I am. I'm glad you're here. Hold on. I'm glad you're here, so you can probably help me because I'm not going to just speak about things. I'm going to go through things that males have said. And then I'm going to ask some questions. But you're here. I've invited people to conversation because I told them that I would be talking about them, and I don't believe in asking people to talking about people that you haven't asked to the conversation. That is some urban apologist, snake devil stuff. So we don't do that here. So anybody that I've invited to the conversation is going to be in the conversation if they want to be. All you gotta do is click that link. And if you would like to, you know, if you would like to join in, please let me know, and I'll get you the link. So, um, I've been very upset because I've heard black men drag Sha'Carri Richardson. Sha'Carri Richardson has taken accountability for her actions. She said, I did it. I did it in a moment of vulnerability. This will never happen again, and I'll be back to win that medal. She wasn't trying to put pressure on the powers that be to allow her to run in the 4x4, which she is going to be able to run because her suspension, she had to complete something, and her suspension was actually reduced down to 1 month. So she will make the 4x4 relay. Hallelujah. You know, it's bittersweet because her event is the 100. She's from Dallas, Texas. She went to the school that I taught at, Dallas Carter. Well, she didn't go to that school. She went to a no problem. But please, input through the stream if you can. Um, she didn't go to Dallas Carter. She attended actually I'm gonna say like a magnet, and then did her sports through Carter. And so she's being dragged through the mud because she made a mistake. She coped in the wrong fashion, which is, typical in the Black community. When people are relaxing, when people are stressed, when people are whatever, drugs, and so that's what functional learning is about, and this is why it's introduced into the schools because we saw the psychological stress in our students while we were teaching them. But so Sha'Carri Richardson actually took ability for her misstep and said, "Hey, I'm going to make you proud, and I'm going to come back a better person." The end. Okay. Bill Cosby raped women. Now I understand that his conviction was vacated, but his conviction was vacated because the damning evidence that they used to get him guilty was a deposition that was made under an immunity agreement that he would never be charged. Okay. So that is what decision that is the decision that the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania made. They said that you couldn't have used that. I knew that when the case was going on, and I was totally against Bill Cosby because I heard these rumors way before. I don't know. I think you have to not have been paying attention to not have heard the accusations of Mr. Cosby, right? Um, but I've heard these things, and not only that, when he demeaned the Black community like some 20 years ago, and well, he thought he was just in front of us. He's like at a address at Temple. I don't remember Temple being an HBCU, but whatever. So he didn't think that this was going to get out and stuff like that. But of course, when you say demeaning things about the Black community, white supremacists latch onto it and say, even Bill Cosby is saying this about you. This old pull yourself up by your bootstraps. When this country wasn't pulled up by their bootstraps. They first had a mommy called Mother Country, called England, all right? And then they pulled themselves, well, they manage this economy off the bloody backs and necks of our ancestors, right? Because the whole economy was based upon slavery at one time. And that's why England said, we're not going to let you be free because this is a hypocrisy. You want to be free, you have slaves. And actually, they were telling them to not have slaves, to, pay people their fair wages and stuff. And of course, that was to slow the economy down. Let's not be stupid. But we ain't about to do that. And keep in mind, there are more people in jail right now than slaves. Back then, and but of course, there are more people in the country, and I'm sure if we were to do a proportionate thing, it would still be higher. But still, Bill Cosby, at the time of these accusations, was a married man. Married before, he has 5 children. When he made these accusations about parenting, and parenting is the reason for the condition of the Black community, not white supremacy or systemic or systematic racism, but what is that called? Yeah, parenting. That's it. If you parented better, then the Black community would be doing better. But he said this, and he had 2 kids on drugs. Two kids on drugs. One died while he was going to jail. God rest her soul. That to me, so while it is the victory in the Bill Cosby thing, and then thing that I also the Pennsylvania decision, and that they illegally obtained that damning evidence, but it was damning. Okay. And the reason why people do not understand that the evidence is damning is because he did not say, I raped somebody. He told us what he did, and his actions itself was rape. And I actually have pieces from the depth. I'm going to when I try to tell men, specifically in the Hebrew Israelite community, that this is rape because she was like not responsive and did not give consent, they said, well, she did drugs, so it was okay for him to rape her. Now, did they say, well, she did drugs, so it's okay to rape her? They said, well, it doesn't matter because she did drugs. I'm like, what doesn't matter because she did drugs? That she got raped? And they're like, yeah, like if a woman does drugs, if she dresses a certain way, it's okay to rape her. And I'm like, who told you that? And if we raise our boys with this understanding, they'll be behind bars too. And we need to stop that. See, even back when I was in college, boys would liquor you up in hopes of getting some. That and a massage. Or, I'm not gonna say that other thing, it's vulgar. But those were the things to get you some. And even the law then stated that was rape. But nobody really knew or understood it. Knew or understood it. Okay. So now we're gonna go to the comments that sparked this for me, because it really bothers me that I have a daughter and I have men. And this is why, and I'm sorry, I said it out loud and I mean it. I would never, never in my life introduce my daughter to the Hebrew Israelite community. Yeah, I said it. Not at all. Not until they start being more of the Most High. Not until I see a respect for women in this community will I ever introduce her to this community to be involved in, because it's dangerous right now. We're seeing women disappearing, women getting raped, women having to run for their lives from their husbands. This is ridiculous. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to share my screen. I hate this because I have to get off of here, so I can't see if you say anything. but it's okay. And I'm going to go to, okay. So this is what Pakistan Lee said. He said, Sha'Carri Richardson and Brianna McNeil. I'm not familiar with Brianna McNeil's story, but going straight from Sha'Carri Richardson, are being used to cheapen cries against structural anti-Black racism. Olympics are European games, and European makes the rules. You don't have to participate, but you can't irresponsibly. Okay, so now we're talking about her irresponsibility, violate their rules, smoke weed, and manipulate doctors' records. Then act as if you're being structurally aggressive upon. Sha'Carri Richardson never said that this is racism and this is why I'm being done this way. Okay. Um, she never said that this is the reason why I can't. I'm sorry, I done went on because I just realized, was I offline? I don't think so. Okay, we'll go back. She never said that I am being racially oppressed and for smoking weed. I mean, she never said that. She took full responsibility and she made no excuses. She said she gave explanation, which most athletes and people will not do. They will not give an explanation as to why that they engage in behavior that could ruin their chances and disappoint fans. But she did, because that's what are women are trained to do. Women are supposed to articulate and verbalize, what they have, what they have going on, and men are not, and they don't often. I mean, there have been several men in this community who have done some shady shit in real life, and when asked for an explanation, they said that they didn't owe anybody an explanation, and that was it. And they still have followers and fans and friends. Okay. But anyway, um, I'm convinced these cases aren't about racism. So when it comes to Black women being excluded or something, even if they make a mistake, just like our Black men, it's never about racism. It's because they're irresponsible women. Keep in mind, Pakistano Lee does subscribe to the manosphere and believes that women are the cause, of all downfalls because men don't lead in our community. Um, I'm convinced these cases aren't about racism, and I believe the widely publicized nature of them is a just jujitsu move by white supremacy media trying to force a win with its back on the ground. Hmm. We're all supposed to rally around these individuals who clearly violated rules, but chalk it up to structural racism, to these cases as if they are explicit demonstrations of racism would be a misstep that reflects misjudgment. And if that was indeed the corporate sponsored white supremacist media's objective, then that might not be a good look for the social justice long game. Fine. Okay, so me and him have a long conversation, but we're going to go to what he said about Bill Cosby. Let's see if he talked about Bill Cosby taking responsibility spiritually or otherwise, or is this a win? Let's just see. Let's just see from one Black man, an Israelite, the accountability that Bill Cosby has under his posting and posting and posting. Let's see. Well, is he in the truth now? I said they can keep him. I'm pretty sure I said they can keep him. They can keep Bill Cosby. And then Tariq Nasheed, I didn't even know that like he had a disdain for women like that. Yeah, they can keep him. That's what I said. FBI government madness is crucifying Cosby in the media for sexual assault while using a documented sociopath without a history of sexual assault as key witness against Assange. Okay. So it's conspiracy when black men are come against. Okay, conspiracy. Let's see. I'm pretty sure there was something about. Hmm, okay. Does she make a good point or not? So he chose points that aren't fake. I love you, Felicia Rashad. It's true that Howard University wants to terminate her position because they feel her comments about Mr. Cosby were insensitive. Then they should give back the millions of dollars that he donated the university. I would ask Stephanie Mills, and I once supported her, and I don't now. Um, I would ask her, is he going to get back the millions that fans gave while thinking that he was a good, upstanding man who wasn't raping women? If he gives back those that money, then he can ask for his money back. Hold on. He's a good moral man. I swear, I can't. Whew. Hmm, my baby got me some water. Okay, sorry. Um, yeah, if he gives back the money that he got from the support, specifically the black community, before he demeaned them, and any other person who wouldn't have supported him while he was raping women, then sure, I feel like Howard should give back their money. Any thoughts? Okay, so again, we're supposed to be thinking about Bill Cosby, but damn Sha'Carri Richardson, who is 19. When Bill Cosby was accused of these things, he was 40 plus. He wasn't no young spring chicken, and he had been married since 1964. Okay. Yet we have no thing. So instead of being mad at Felicia Rashad, so now we're going to look at another black woman that we could throw under the bus of being mad. Instead of being mad at Felicia Rashad, if any of you knew the real deal, you'd be mad at this turncoat. Assistant Prosecutor Kristen Gibbons Fetting. She was team white supremacy by supporting her corrupt and unethical boss, DA Kevin Steele, who broke the law. Bye, Kristen. It was unethical. And we do have to stop using the excuse of we're just doing our job to railroad black people. I've seen it happen in a justice situation. You know, I've seen it happen. Um, and it is, you know, I'm going to go into that story, but So anyway, here's my invitation to Casino Lee to go live. Clearly, I'm not worthy of speaking with, even though we can go back and forth online and amuse his people. But this is not a worthy conversation. But you posted online, and so it is what it is. But anyway, I will say this: damn Sha'Carri, damn McNeil. But we need to think about Bill Cosby. We need to understand that Bill Cosby, we got to put way thought into him. Okay. Let's go back. Do we see anything about Sha'Carri? Thing was he just, feeling very supportive? I don't know. But this is what we get. Okay. Um, Men of the Most High, not just him, but many have stated that Bill Cosby is innocent because his conviction was vacated. But the thing is that they did not make a decision on whether Bill Cosby was innocent or guilty. They made a decision that his conviction was gained by illegal means. That was the decision, which was the opening of that deposition. In the deposition, Bill Cosby admits to raping the woman. Does he say I raped somebody? Absolutely not. I don't think he would do that. But he does explain his actions, and his actions is what rape is. Okay. He gave the woman a drug. He admits that. He said that he put his hand like close to her vagina and she didn't say anything. And he was like, did she look up? Did she do this? And she was like, basically, she was unresponsive, meaning she was on her ass. Okay. Did she say yes? And he said no. I just figured because she didn't stop me that was consent. Well, consent means a verbal yes. Yes, I want to have sex with you. So Bill Cosby agreed to have sex. They never try. They weren't meeting up to have sex. He just said he gave her a pill, and then because she didn't say no and she did not stop him because she was passed out, uh, that he figured it was okay to climb on top of her and do his business. Like Silly said, do his business. And look, don't come after me for The Color Purple or Waiting to Exhale, because at the same time those movies were out, Black women were being objectified in rap videos. Okay? Come again. But anyway, so then these men claim to be men of the Most High. And so if you're a man of the Most High, why aren't you talking about the fact that he broke the covenant with his wife? If he hadn't broken the covenant with his wife, and been sticking and moving, he would have been in a situation. And First Peter 3:7 says that if you deal with your wife deceitfully, that the Most High doesn't even hear your prayers. Okay. And if you're a man of the Most High, how come you're not holding him accountable for drugging girls and then having sex with them? If you're a man of the Most High, why aren't you dealing with how he berated and demean the Black community? Why aren't those things that you are dealing with? Hmm? We don't know. For some reason, those things are acceptable. So now we're going to go to um, my page, because I'm going to show you how Black men don't even know what rape are. All Black men? No, no, no. I'm not talking about all Black men. I'm talking about these Black men on my page and what they had to say. Okay. So I'm going to share screen again. Whew, I'm getting tired, y'all, because I've been trying to do this for a while. Oh yeah, 5 truths. avoids trauma, hates fakes, keeps it real, swears a lot, has a forgiving heart. That's absolutely true. I do. Because I'm trying to work on my person. Okay, so I'm going to go here. I spent an hour explaining to a male that a woman taking drugs is not consent to sex. A semi conscious woman can't consent to sex. Saying yes to drugs or alcohol doesn't mean that a woman gets what she deserves by being raped. Location doesn't make rape okay. Time of day doesn't make rape okay. Dress doesn't make rape okay. Still, he held his position that all of these things are good reason to rape a woman. This is a so-called man of the Most High. Hide your daughters, okay? This is not anybody that I've talked about. So Gary Wilburn is a known woman. Is a known reveler of doormat doctrine. Death to doormat doctrine. He's a known reveler for that doormat doctrine. Okay, doormat doctrine, and let me explain that a little bit more. It's doctrine that dehumanizes women and says that I apologize. Doormat doctrine is a doctrine that dehumanizes women in their thoughts, feelings, and actions. It basically is saying that, you don't have, because you have a vagina, you don't have the same desire to succeed in life or have accomplishments or to be heard or considered throughout decisions. That you are childlike and need to come up under a man, not even just to, come up in the world like it used to be, because it's not that way anymore, like it used to be. It's to even to talk to the Most High, you can't do so unless you get under the covering of a man, which is a lie. We can see that in Scripture. We can see that Hannah prayed to the Most High herself for a son. Okay, so and she needed a man to do that. Well, you might say, well, she's married, so that's why she had to do that. But we can point to, let's see, I'm going to try to get one. I'm trying to get one. Phoebe, we don't know if she had a husband or not, but she was a deacon in church. Um, we can point to Martha, who is of the Most High, who served Christ. I mean, like, she was not married. Okay, so this is a ridiculous statement altogether. Okay, Huldah didn't need her husband there to tell these five priests what the Most High said. Okay, and she said, "Thus said the Most High." Okay, so stop that. So Gary Wilburn goes into, we know women aren't responsible for anything, including pregnancy, abortions, unmodest apparel, twerking girls, summer STDs, all these things women are not responsible for. But who says that women are not? I don't know where that was said up here, but he says that women are not responsible for that. And so the manosphere slash pro-black rhetoric states that if a woman gets pregnant and a man doesn't want to stick around, a woman must take accountability for his decision to bounce on that child and be a single mother. That's inaccurate. A woman has to take responsibility for her role to mother. If somebody is not stepping up to father, that is his responsibility that he is shirking, and he's the only one who can make the decision to be there or not. And he did not consult with her. And so we have to understand that we have to stop shouldering black women with black men's decision. The decision of whether a man is going to be in his child's life is his and his alone, and he bears that burden. Single mothers are created because there are men who decide they are going to shirk their part of the responsibility. Now, once you ejaculate in a woman, you have passed the baton of decision making, and it's been that way since 1973. Roe versus Wade. Stop. So we're going to go into some ignorant stuff. I said, what does that have to do with the unaddressed that you haven't addressed? We were talking another thing, and you'll see that. Victims of sexual assault cannot be blamed from their own rape. None of what you are mentioning is listed. Having sex without another person's permission is rape no matter how they are dressed, where they are, what they drink or smoke. Stop the bullshit, Gary, on this one. He said hogwash. Most, if not all, these women are Becky whores, liars, and groupies looking for a come up. So he says women who are raped are whores. So if you are raped, you're a whore and you're Becky looking for a come up. Most women are not raped by celebrities, but somehow they're looking for a come up. So I tell him you need professional help and you need to stay far away from women, which I would suggest. Here's a video that explains what consent and rape means. Once you watch it, you will see how Cosby raped Constant. Okay. So here's this lady. She defines rape, and I'm going to go to it. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it, but I'm going to play it. And I have the caption control on. She also like right on the right spot, but still. Let me turn off the cap. Okay, let's see if it starts here. Oh wow, keep going. All right, hold on. Okay, so she just that Andrea Constant said she was intoxicated with this pill that they both she believed it was a Benadryl. That's what Bill Cosby said he gave her. And but Benadryl don't do what she's saying it does. It did to her. Okay, Benadryl does not do that. Quaaludes do, and Quaaludes were the roofies of that time. And so, and I don't know. I think roofies are like you're moving, but you're not gonna remember anything. You're gonna black out. Mm, your face fell off. Okay, that's what roofies are. In Bill's testimony, he said that he gave her this pill and he put his hand by her vagina and she did not stop him. And he said that he took that as consent and climbed on top of her and did his business. Okay, he didn't say did my business, but I'm going to show you the thing. And see, I'm the only one who's on here showing you the evidence. See, everybody's trying to control the narrative, but nobody's showing you what rape is. Okay, and I think the real thing. Let me take that off. Is incapable of valid consent because of mental illness, and in our community there are a lot of mentally disabled young girls who get pregnant. So what's going on there? See, we don't want to talk about it and deal with it. Huh? Okay, sorry. So she went over what rape is. So mental illness, mental deficiency, intoxication, unconsciousness, or deception. So Bill, when he put his hand by her vagina, he said that she didn't like flinch or stop him or anything. So he interpreted that as consent. Well, from what she said, so from what he said, that's rape. That is exactly what rape is. And people do not understand that. People don't want to embrace that that is rape. You know, oftentimes I have to change it around and say, okay, a man drinks until he passes out. He's passed out. Does another man get to turn him over and sodomize him because he took a drink? It is the obvious answer to that question is no. I mean, whether he took a drink, whether he did drugs, anything. The obvious answer is no. A matter of fact, people will clutch their pearls at that thought. What? But when we say the same thing for a woman, there's a gray area for some reason. She should have known better. So she should have the expectation that men are going to violate her because she has a drink or she does a drug or she's doing way too much one night or the other. Is that what we want to do? Do we want to arm our girls with the thought and with the knowledge that men are so violent, specifically our men, our Black men are so violent that if you drink, if your skirt is too short, they will violate you and they will rape you because they're animals? Is that what we want to teach our girls about our men? Uh, Men seem to think so, and we're going to look at our post right here. I advise Gary to go get some therapy because I feel like that'd be beneficial for him. Oh, shout out to Dallas who took last night of firecrackers and everything to shoot up the place and kill people. Okay, there were lots of shootings last night. So here's another post. The difference between Kevin Samuels and Cynthia G is that Cynthia's stats are correct. While Kevin knows his audience is intellectually lazy enough to pass the stats off facts, Cynthia knows women aren't that lucky. I fact checked both of them because that's what women do. You want to put out a stat, then we got to look it up. And even when, like, I constantly say that Black women are being murdered 2.5 times more than any other race by their men, men say that I'm bashing them, but that is an actual stat. We'll go to the study to see it. I'm not lying. I'm not lying. That's an actual thing that's happening. That's why TV1 has Fatal Attraction on. This is why they have For My Man. It seems to be the security of a woman has to do with her proximity to a man, and that's unfortunate. But yes, I fact checked both of them, and Kevin's stats, you can't find that nowhere. Nowhere. It's lies. It's lies. And then, well, I think where he goes is Black statistics, but even Black statistics don't even say what he's saying. It just exists and people just type it in and they don't look for the stat. His stats are incorrect. He says that most Black men are not fathers. That's absolutely true according to the census. The census says that 80% of Black men are fathers by the age of 40, most becoming fathers between the ages of 25 and 29. And so we'll go down to the comments because you'll see 33 comments. Yeah, this is all Gary Wilson commenting and trying to defend. So I bring up the study. Whatever facts he's talking about, I don't know to say whether she did or not. And then Gary says only half of Black men are fathers by the fathers. Period. That's not true. This is from the article censusapnews.com. Census says more than 60% of U.S. men are fathers. And the second paragraph of this top half right here says, by the time men were in their 40s, those disparities narrowed. More than 83% of Hispanics were fathers, around 80% of Black and Asian men were dads, and around 3/4 of white men were fathers. Kevin Samuel says that the accomplishments of women mean nothing. Is this true? That's not true. It's actually what's raising our earning and buying power. Okay. Now people say, well, you have to go to college and get debt. Well, somebody has to do it. It usually doesn't, it's not cyclical. So, and currently I make more than my college debt. So yeah. Quit lying and read your own statistics on around 80% of Black and Asian men are fathers. And where is that stat from? It obviously says census says, right? So this is just somebody down the arc, which Gary usually is, and we always debate back and forth. 80% is way more than 51%. That means the majority. So Kevin Samuels is saying that a minority group of Black fathers, including himself, Black men, are fathers. And all they're doing is having babies with the Ray Rays and Pookies. Well, 80% of you are fathers. So are 80% of Black men Ray Rays and Pookies? See, y'all call me man haters, but I'm explaining how this stat, this wrong stat, with correct numbers, generalizes Black men. Mm-mm-mm. And then I asked, wouldn't it be Kevin Samuels' cast that is generalizing negative stereotypes about his own race and gender? Because the Black manosphere spawns from the alt-right racist Trumpism manosphere. So then here he goes, he calls me out. Oh, since statistics are from 2014, 7 years ago. Kevin Samuels stats up to date. I mean, he can't tell me where Kevin, let's see more. And then he says among adult, and then he quotes census 2014. And I said, he quotes these things, and then he says census, let me get that out. Census 2014. And then I said, did you just say 2014 stats weren't relevant? Then quote 2014 stats? Quit lying, because you're lying if you disagree with me. And read your own statistics on around 80% of Black and Asian men are fathers. And where is that stat from? It clearly, I just showed you, said census says. Just lying on Black men, because I hate Black men. Okay. So I remind him that the census takes place every 10 years. The 2020 data isn't quite out, but they did a survey, so I updated. Look, updated the article. This article is from 2019. Let's click on it. This is what I go through, y'all. June 13, 2019. Woo! Okay. So let's go down to this chart, because sometimes charts are easy to say. So it says race, about 1% of white, Asian, and Hispanic men ages 15 to 19 fathers, compared to about 3% of Black men of the same age. So Black men have more kids between 15 and 19 than Asians and Hispanics. Among men ages 20 to 29, 21.2% of white men, 24.9% of Black men. So that's about a quarter. That is a quarter, round up 9. And 12.4% of Asian men and 29.4% of Hispanic men are fathers. Hispanic men, yeah, Hispanic, they're having more kids than us, hands down. But we see Black men are right behind them having these kids. So when do men become fathers? Let's see. I don't know if you can see this real quick, but this is Black men right here. Black men. This is in different age groups, 15 to 23, 23 to 29, 30 to 38. We see a significant thing. So they're doing it later compared to the stats I had. And then 85.5. So it actually raised. It didn't lower. It's 85.5 have children by the age of through 40 to 49. Okay, so this is updated information. So I provide that for him. Okay, you called me out. You said this is old information. The census only happened 10 years, but I'm going to this. Okay, so yeah. He keeps on saying that women lie, but numbers don't, and this is the census. What are you talking about, Gary? Hmm? Cognitive dissonance. We have to go over that definition, which he laughed at. He's not cognitively dissonant. He's not experiencing that. Mm, okay, so now we're gonna go to this other guy. Wait. This is another one. Okay, remember this? Bill Cosby went on a rant about poor Black people and demeaned the way that they talk, dress, education levels, and what they name their children, basically making a call for assimilation. And assimilation is the call of an older generation who feels like if we subscribe to mainstream society instead of trying to carve out our own culture and niches and things like that, then we will be a-okay. But we are the generation who saw Malcolm X and Martin Luther King murdered in three-piece suits. And living that upper middle class life and stand up for the people. So that's a hard sell with my generation. Uh, the law, anyone themselves, not policies to spray without the context of both systematic as kids were on drugs while he was raping women in his home. He shared with his wife while she was home. While some of what he said was true and deserved discussion, you can't act like a moral compass for the Black community while you're drugging and raping women. Hallelujah. Coach did a wonderful job. Timing his coach was on here. Oh my God. And he was just ripping them intellectually to shreds because he's like, if you're coming to the conversation making accusations and not asking why and doing the research, then there's nothing much to talk. That's right. Okay. Now that's something I can get behind. Now I kind of wish he would have delved into the thing, but I understood that we had to come to the table in discussion, not accusatory tones and things like that. Because once he would have started to explain things, they would have just been, and I understand that. So he did a great job on this. Um, Okay. So keep in mind, Bill Cosby is talking about parenting and how Black fathers need to be in their lives. And I wholeheartedly agree because, the narrative that's being spun is that Black men weren't in the home. So all the outcome of the community is the woman's fault, as if absence has no impact. I don't understand that. Absence has impact. Okay. And it's actually measured, and I can pull up those stats too. Okay. And Bill Cosby was talking about how these kids are turning out because of your poor parenting, nothing else. But he had two kids, two on drugs, two kids on drugs. And he was impoverished. What's his excuse? Oh, he gonna blame Camille. So obviously, even in well-to-do establishment, well-to-do anything, the absence of fatherhood, of and even if he claims to be a present parent, the environment plays a role in the outcome of children. It just does. That's why those who know that are moving. He didn't rape anyone. He told the truth about parenting. No parent is perfect. Parenting is still subjected to environment, as he should know with the outcome of his own children. He admitted to having sex with Constance specifically after giving her a pill, which he claims was Benadryl. Benadryl or not, a semi-conscious woman cannot consent to sex. We just, this lady, you know, him and Gary do. Okay, so this is the fact of the case. There was no determination made by the Pennsylvania Supreme Court about whether Bill Cosby was innocent or guilty. It wasn't determined. They said that his conviction was illegally obtained by the damning evidence um, in that deposition that should have never been used. So, I mean, in reality, though, I guess because he was so powerful, they was trying to secure a conviction. But we see Black men be put in jail with evidence than a deposition. Even with the deposition, we seem like males be put in jail for less. So I have, and it's like like Black people can be put away just on circumstantial evidence alone. Doesn't have to be real. I just watched The Sins of the City, and this guy whose twin was murdered, he admitted how he lived in the house, and they got his fingerprint, a bloody fingerprint that they said was bloody. And then they wound up having a mistrial. Then they said, well, let's really forensically look into this. And they found out that his handprint was there before the blood was there. Makes no sense. So he did not murder his twin. He was actually in bed with his girlfriend at the time and received a phone call about his twin's murder. Okay, so Bill Cosby, and this is my final judgment about the Bill Cosby situation. Bill Cosby's case was overturned due to the immunity agreement being violated, not because of any proven innocent. Location, dress, doing drugs, drinking alcohol does not make rape okay. Cosby admitted his crimes and is getting off because the state violated his rights, not by not upholding the agreement. I feel for the victims, but you can't break the law to uphold it. His lawyers dropped the ball, essentially. This is what happened. And people say he didn't admit to that. So we're going to go to the evidence. I have evidence of it. 71 comments. Okay. Sometimes I post stuff, I don't get a like or nothing. And then I post stuff and everything. That's my girl, D. Dwayna. So he said it was illegal for them to go after him. It wasn't illegal for them to go after him. It was illegal for them to open up that deposition that they promised immunity to him for. Okay, that was the illegal part. Says not guilty in eyes of the law. The law didn't make any determination on Bill Cosby's guilt or innocence. That hasn't happened. They vacated his conviction because ill obtained evidence against him. Okay, illegal evidence against him that damned him. Had they obtained it legally, he would still be in jail today. And so they didn't make a determination. The DA would have to bring this case again and convict him, but because they illegally obtained it and double jeopardy, they can't, right? Which other people say is a conspiracy thing. So here's Chris Quick, armchair lawyers, here they come. Once his due process was denied in the eyes of the law, he's presumed innocent, end of story. Well, that would be the case for most people. But Bill Cosby admitted to what he did. And so I said, not when he admits out of his mouth he gave women drugs and then had sex with them. His confession was illegally obtained. We know that he is guilty. Giving women drugs and drugging them aren't the same thing. It is if you're doing it to get sex, and he admits, and Bill Cosby admits that. And it is when you then proceed to have sex with them. Doing drugs with a woman is fine. Okay, if she wants to do that, well, doing drugs, say no to drugs, that'll be different, right? If she wants to do that, but then taking advantage of her intoxicated state, as the therapist just told us, is rape. Okay, so he didn't have to say, I admit to raping a woman. He, through his actions, admitted to it. And I think he did so unknowingly, because even today in 2021, men are arguing that that's not rape. If she took drugs willingly, how is she rape? And we're going to see those comments. Excuse me, I got thirsty. Oh, this is this disrespectful Israelite male. Never ceases to amaze me. Okay, so we're gonna go through as much of this as I can, and then I'll be off of here by 6 o'clock because I'm tired. In the eyes of the law, Bill is innocent. No, he's not, because he admitted his guilt. It was a technicality that got him out of prison and unable to be tried again. So, um, yeah, there's no innocent or guilt, even that can be put into any court document for him. Okay. Um, being a dope head with regrets don't make one innocent either. So he claims these are all druggies who have regrets after whatever. I said, yo, Yochanan, Ben Israel, disgraceful name. It is required when you don't know how liquoring, drugging a woman up and then having sex with her is rape according to the law. His own mouth said he gave women drugs that they wanted. Yochanan Ben Israel, being a dope head is one thing. The predator who decides to violate someone while they're on drugs, like Cosby did, is a rapist. Okay, so we have labels for all that, right? Trading one's body for drugs doesn't make one receiving a predator, it's prostitution. Who sold their body to get, I'm sorry, I'm right here right now. Who sold their body to get drugs? And who would need Bill Cosby to get drugs if they really wanted drugs, especially back then? Okay, just like the late 80s, early 90s, something like that, right? Okay, it's also New York, not New York, Pennsylvania. You can get drugs everywhere. Okay, drugs is not an unlimited commodity in our communities, and we know this, right? Quaaludes were prescription drugs. Everybody didn't have access to them. And so I had to tell him, you're reaching. Why is it that black men push hard for father figures rather than good men who are not cheating on their wives, drugging women up, and raping them? Okay, I'm talking about Cosby, right? Remember that. This makes no sense. And this hypocrite did this while demeaning the black community and acting like he was on some acting like he was some compass of morality. Fuck out of here with that. Okay? So I'm talking about Cosby, right? Keep that in mind. Yeah, they had access to more powerful street drugs, and you're telling me a middle class white woman didn't have access to prescription drugs. So why do we have an opioid crisis again? Well, why do we have an opioid crisis again? That's the inflection there. Um, I have a father. I celebrate good men. Don't support rape, etc. Why do black women always attempt to attack the character of black men that don't agree with them? I've never, I'm not talking about you, nigga. Ooh, I'm talking about Bill Cosby and how come he's getting your support, but good men get the don't get this type of support. Okay, they don't. They don't. So I had to remind Chris Quick that the court didn't render a decision about his innocence or guilt. They stated that his conviction was illegally obtained, and it was. Learned the difference, and he confessed himself, so he's guilty. Chris Quick, black women don't understand that when they attack black men openly, they are voluntarily pushing the white supremacist agenda. So if you don't sing black men's praises and you are critical about black men who are doing bad stuff, not just in general. Well, I don't speak about black men in general. I speak about specific black men, certain groups of black men, specifically Hebrew Israelite men, and so-called conscious men, so-called. I can't really be on that. You know, so-called conscious men and things like that. But there is a pathology that exists throughout the entire community that is disgusting to me. Disgusting. So I said, I didn't attack your character. I said, why are these the men who gain your support? But since you went there, I'm beginning to think you've done this yourself. You know, because there were a lot of men who didn't understand what rape was before this case. And so when you try to say that Bill Cosby raped her because she did a drug and she was intoxicated, they're thinking, they're reflecting on themselves. Like, how many times have I looked up a girl and hopped up for her? You know, that's what we did. Am I a rapist? Yes. The answer is yes, you are a rapist. You didn't know it, but you are a rapist. And you have committed, well, you're not a rapist. I'm not going to go that far. I'm going to say that you have committed the act of rape. Well, I'll make you a rapist. Yeah, it was. You have committed the act of rape. If you ever liquored up, drugged up a woman and then had sex with her, yes, you've committed rape. Okay? Women too. If you looking up a guy that you liked and then said, "Come here, come get some of this," yeah, and you know that you couldn't get that without them, those things. Yeah, you've committed rape. So you did attack her. What a beautiful wife of mine sitting beside me will say your goddamn lie. Well, does your wife know that you think it's okay to climb on unconscious women? Probably not. So I'll go back to Chris quick. He's somebody from Denver, But you support manosphere talking points and bash black women via internet daily. So stop your own shit before coming over here. I didn't bash Bill Cosby. I'm stating the facts of the case, which is true. These are all facts of the case. And then he says, you're stating facts partially, but he doesn't elaborate on what parts are, I'm missing. So I tell the Israelite, I give a shit what your wife says. I know my conscious women is okay and they're bad better. What the fuck? Okay. In real life. What is that about? It is disturbing. It is disturbia. It is mental illness here. I have said, I have you. Oh, I'm sorry that I wasn't supposed to. Have you said those things to your wife? I highly doubt she knows you feel that way. I don't know what woman would agree with that. One woman would say, "Yeah, babe, she took a drink and she's out time. Just go ahead and climb on top of her." Like, who says that? Maybe Tiny. Like, who says that other than her? Okay, I don't give a shit what you think. You're not important, but you're on my page. I think a dope head got what she agreed to, and when the ship sailed, she got mad. What ship? What the hell are you talking about? Andrea Constant went directly to the police. I don't know if I can make civilly. We'll get him in deposition, and that's what the DA has to agree to prosecute your case, and he wouldn't. He did her disservice at the time, and she went immediately. I said, "Can you point to the place where she agreed with anything?" Bill can't per his own mouth, and we're going to see that in a minute. You sound like a reformed dope head that is now playing victim. Okay, so now we're off the facts of the case. It's what I must be. So I'm like, okay. I said, you sound like a rapist who thinks hopping on unconscious people is where it's at. And then I said, I thought we determined we don't care about each other's opinions of each other. And then he says, you're, um, I feel like this is not how this went, how I was getting it, because something happened way after that. I was on my phone at the time, so it might have been different. Okay, yeah, so that's what it was. I'm reading things at a okay. I see that. Okay, returning over and over, waiting years to say anything is an admission. Most women who are raped by somebody they knew will delay coming forward because they usually have a relationship and more than just them, their family and everything. This is how abusers make people comfortable with them. They reach out to everybody that you know and they say, "Hey, we're good friends," and people believe that they're a good person, and so now you got to drop the ball on them, and it's very like I don't know what to do. Also, that therapist went into the freeze mode where a woman or a girl won't say any. It's like she'll think about her options. She'll probably resist and say no, and then she'll think about her options, her availability to get away, her availability to fight. The strength and the ability of the like. She processes that, and then she just freezes. But she's not really participating in the sex or anything. And then she also talks about when a woman orgasms while she's being sexually violated, and how women felt like, but I orgasmed, so I must have liked it. Didn't I? No. If you weren't down for it and you orgasm, that's just your body and what it does. I went to Tennessee one time, and I was in an agricultural program, and they were trying to show us like how to get a chicken to make it to lay eggs. And ironically, they did tell us as young girls, like, well, I don't know if they told us that, but he like sexually stimulated the chicken in front of us. And that chicken was like, what? I mean, like, and yeah, she had a orgasm and she laid the egg. And I was like, oh my God. Well, we didn't see an egg lady, but she had an orgasm, and it was terrible. I said, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'll just buy my shit at the market. So I'm a crackhead who got a master's. Yeah. Your points got washed, and now you must go to ad hominis. Anything else before you hit that block party? That's all, because this is how you're going to get done over here if you come with that bullshit. Okay. Rapists fight for women's empowerment. Yeah, you sound stupid. So now he's claiming that he fights for women empowerment, but he felt like a semi-conscious woman deserved to have a man on top of her who's 40 years old, looks like Bill Cosby, in his wife's home. Matter of fact, I think that he used his marriage to disarm people, in his morality to disarm people. Because who would think that you're going to Bill Cosby's house and he's going to try to have sex with you? He's married. He's supposed to be this upstanding man. Who would think that? Especially if you look up to him. And with Constant, he had developed a mentor-mentee relationship with. So of course you're not going to think that this man is going to do this to you. So now he's claiming that they were trading sex for drugs. There's nothing that supports that. This is just what he's saying because Bill, his father, has got to be innocent. So I said, let's edify this waste of conversation. Many women wait years and years to come out about their abuses. They're often embarrassed, scared, and traumatized. Why? Because it's generally someone they have a relationship with. A social worker informed me, this is a true story, last summer, I was talking to a social worker. This is when everybody was in quarantine and we really didn't have a lot of people to talk to. And me and the social worker just chopped it up for about an hour and a half. And she told me that most people, their first sexual experience is with the family member, specifically if there's boys in the home. I was like, what? What the hell are you talking about? But it is true. It is a fact that if somebody grew up with brothers or cousins or anything in their home, they probably had sex with them or had a sexual experience with them. Oh, that is just disgusting to think about. But as I go along and I deal with younger kids than I usually do who, you know, who know what's wrong, but still in that childlike phase where they still tell stuff. It happens a lot. It happens a lot. Okay. Instead of Instead of doing any type of research, the fatherless males who cling on to media fathers have tried to justify why having sex with a semi-conscious woman was somehow a fair trade, substantiated by not one piece of evidence. And somehow taking drugs means that a woman wants to be violated. This upholds rape culture not only among women but boys that are now being targeted by predominantly males and females in various communities. The Supreme Court ruled on the illegal actions of the Pennsylvania DA of violating the agreement and placing his damning testimony into evidence during his trial, not whether or not he committed the crime. Bill Cosby himself sealed the deal on his innocence by his own admission of guilt, more than likely unknowingly, as he seemed ignorant of the law regarding consent. He is a guilty man at the end of the day. Lord, see, the spirit just moved to me. He is a guilty man at the end of the day and shouldn't be upheld as as great in the African American community because his contributions were undermined by his treatment of our community itself and the serial rapist he chose to be while putting on a facade as an upstanding moral leader. The broken system worked in his favor. Okay, so I put Where is it? I gotta go all the way back up here because I put the deposition in here. Quotes from the deposition. Thought it was in here. Oh, here it is. Okay, so we're gonna go here. This is the interviewer in the deposition. What effect did the Quaaludes have on her? This is Bill Cosby. Answer right here. She became in those days what we called high. She said that she believed she was not, question. She said that she believed she was not in a position to consent to intercourse after you gave her the drug. Do you believe that is correct? Here we go. Here we go. What does Bill say? I don't know. How many years are we talking about? So now, I don't know. I can't recall, but it's not a definitely not. No. I met Miss Picking in Las Vegas. She meets me backstage. I gave her Quaaludes. So now it seems like you're talking about somebody else. So let's go to the next one. Okay, so this is where rape occurred. Okay. But if you don't know what rape is, you'll read this and say, where did he say he raped her? Okay, so you're not telling us that you verbally asked her for permission. And then he says, I didn't say it verbally. I said, the action is my hand on her midriff, which is skin. I'm not lifting any clothing up. This is, I don't remember fully what it is, but it's there and I can feel. I got her skin and it's just above the hand. It's just above where you can go underneath her pants. Then what happens? I don't hear her say anything. What the fuck? You don't hear her say anything? What? How can she not say anything? She ain't saying anything. He didn't even. I don't feel her say anything. I don't hear her say anything. I don't feel her say anything. So I didn't feel a soft moan. I didn't feel her. It was like she wasn't even there, right? And so I continue and I go into the area that is somewhere between permission and rejection. So that could get poetic with it. I go somewhere in between there. I'm not stopped. So he keep on going. That's rape. Oh my God. That's rape. Wait a minute. Because most people are going to be like, well, she said no, but then she grabbed me closer. So, and that could be a gray area. I didn't hear her say anything, and I didn't feel her say anything. What do you feel? You didn't hear her say, no. But you didn't hear her say yes. You have to get consent, sir. Where's the article? Where's the article? I gotta get the article. Anyway, I don't got time for that. But I'll post the article in the thing. Y'all read the deposition and tell me. I know that one part. Which way the rape occurred? Okay? You don't have to be a genius. So I'll stop sharing at that point. So this is what I've been going through for the last few days. Oh, CLA Trey, you on here. Sir. Well, he was on here. It's documented. He said 1960. He never admitted to it. We just read where he admitted to it. See, Trey, aka Mr. Research. This dude. Oh my God. He admitted it, Mr. Research. He obviously didn't stay on enough to read the deposition, but I just read it. I gotta respond to that real quick. I just told him I just read the deposition and he admitted to actions that are defined as rape. So again, you want to hold, and there was one woman online. She was a woman, and she was like, she needs to suffer consequences. Talking about Sha'Carri. And I was like, she is. She's not going to the Olympics. She doesn't get to come up of being an Olympic participant and champion, which she would have been if she went because she's the fastest woman here. Like she doesn't get to do those things. She is experiencing consequences beyond belief, the embarrassment of it all, the hurt behind it all. She's going through that. But what Black men are upset about is that Black women are lovingly, because she took responsibility, because she owned her decisions and her mistakes, because she came up and said, I can't hide this, it's just what it is, and I'm sorry, and apologized and explained herself. So, because of that, yes, Black women are putting their arms around this young lady and loving her. And people are mad. No, no. Make her bleed, make her suffer. But yet, when it comes to Bill freaking motherfucking Cosby, who was grown as fuck, and I say that in grown as fuck, and married, we give him a freaking, well, don't put me up in that. You want to give him a pass for drugging up women and then sleeping with them? Oh, I'm sorry, he didn't slip it to them. He was doing drugs with women and then having sex with them while they're semi-unconscious, which is no, sir. Not while you're fucking going in on the community. Not when you're telling us we're in this condition because of parenting, when you couldn't even keep 2 out of the 5 kids you had on walking the straight and narrow. No, sir. You went against Black males saying that it's their fault that they're going to jail. And this is how foolish you Negroes are. This is how foolish you are. And I don't mean Negroes in a derogatory way. I think we are Negroes. He went in blaming you for being in and out the system. Meanwhile, his rich old butt got caught up in the system himself. And I hope this is a humbling moment for him. I hope it is a humbling moment for him. Because now he realizes his money didn't keep him from being just like those young men that he went in on. He is in a system, in a jail suit, behind bars, like every other man. His fortune, fame, and influence what got him out. We know several Black men railroaded in the system, and the system has done illegal things to get them the Central Park Five. And it took them years and years and years and years of going through this madness to even clear their names. Now I understand Black community that we want to say, aha, we won in your system, blah, blah, blah. And that's fine. Okay, you can have your minor victory. That's a minor victory. But like 50 Cent said, Bill Cosby's backed on the loose. And this was no surprise, or this had been a long time rumor in the industry. I watched DL Hughley's show, and he went in about it. He said, just because, oh, I wish I could find that clip. He said, just because I say yes to drugs doesn't mean I want to be fucked. Right. You know. And the woman who played Trixie, I can't remember her name. She's a comedian, but the comedic realm, they've been making jokes about this for a long time. And she said she was warned about Bill Cosby, about the hands. And then another YouTuber, who was it? Oh, some dude, he's an unknown, did this whole live and said Roz from Night Court said that she was warned about the hands, but she's ugly, so it can't be true. But there are several people in Hollywood who's saying this. They don't have his back. They know what he was doing. The Black Viv. What's the name? I love her. She came out and was like, Felicia, sit there. Bye, Felicia. She basically told her, bye, Felicia. I was making a meaning. Bye, Felicia. Because she was like, you know, everybody knew that he got down like that. Stop it. This is no secret. The guy who played Denise's husband said that he met a young lady who said that that happened to her. And I bet you most of the victims who are not coming forward are black women. For sure. Are black women. Because it's underreported in black spaces. So people will be like, how do you know that it's underreported? Because they get this from psych therapists, they get this from medical people, because you do get to decide if you go to the doctor for it, if you are going to press charges. Okay, you do. And if you say no, they're like, what? Why are all these black ladies not pressing charges on these men? Because black women don't want to go through that. Black women don't want to be responsible for sending a black male to jail. But perhaps if we get over that sentiment and we, you know, start letting dudes know you will go to jail if you rape a black girl, you know. Hmm? Maybe if we start making not just our man, but any man understand that if you rape a black girl, you're going to jail, then it'll stop happening. And I have to get on to all these pro conscious black women out there who are claiming his innocence when his innocence has yet to be proven and his guilt is. I just read it. I just read it. I just read the deposition. Go ahead and rewind. So that's my final thoughts. I'm done here. Oh, I was supposed to be off 20 minutes ago. Bill Cosby is a guilty man because he admitted what he did. I don't think he understood that what he did was rape. And unfortunately, in 2021, many men know that that's the definition of rape, but they don't agree. They say if a woman, and I just showed you comments from men that if they took drugs, then you know, that's on them if they get raped, you know, and that's how men feel. And I feel like that's unfortunate because those men will also be the men who end up behind bars and they won't have the money, fortune, or fame or influence that Bill Cosby has to get out of it. And if a DA breaks the law to get them in there, nobody's going to care. Not even Bill Cosby, who will say you got there by your own merit. That's what he said up until he got locked up. So be careful about who you put your trust in. Be careful about um, who you choose to support. Be careful about who you let your daughters be around. Yeah, all types of stuff. You know, I don't deal with the Hebrew Israelite community as a whole. I don't trust it. I think it's an unsafe place for women. And there are only, you know, the men that I associate with in this community, they know who they are, and those are the only people who I let speak or even know my daughter like that. And I would advise everybody else to do the same. Hold your daughters tight, you know. Like 50 Cent said, Bill Cosby's back. back I gotta wait. Bill Cosby is back on the loose. It's not just Bill Cosby. It's not just Bill Cosby, it's all the men that think like him, all of them that excuse his bad behavior and want to drag a 19-year-old girl. They're likely rapists too. It is also about, and people will hate me for saying that, but if you can't agree that that shit was wrong, then and you agree with his actions, What's to say that you won't do those actions? That's just plain logic. That's just plain logic. All right, let me close this out. I lost connection for a little bit, but yeah, hold your daughters tight because it's not just Bill Cosby. It's all these people who agree with him, who are excusing his bad behavior, who thinks that the raping of women is inconsequential. Those people and Bill Cosby himself are a problem for the Black community and need to sit down. And need to sit down. So I just want to wrap that out with it. I want y'all to go back and read the part where I read the deposition. I went over the explanation of what rape is, and then we read the deposition. Okay, so you can rewind. I'm going to timestamp it for you, so you don't even have to waste your life. So you guys have a great day. Love one another, and let's stop pardoning people who are just straight up guilty. Bill Cosby is back in the loose, y'all. Be careful.